didn't even have a cell phone when I first started roofing.
Really?
Yeah, it was
You
way
just
different.
knock doors or what?
Yeah, you just kind of made contacts when you went home. You called people at night. So
Yeah, because the phone was at home.
Oh yeah, the cord.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Benj Sailor Show. Today we have some awesome guests with us. We have Kurt and Stetson Beus. We're excited to have them on. They've been family friends of my family for a while. We've done quite a bit of things together, from 4th of July's to New Year's, staying up till 2 a.m. drinking
right, yeah.
Mountain Dew.
I was like drinking. Really?
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yep. And Kurt and Stetson, and Kurt specifically started a roofing company in 1995, and he's been super consistent since. And Stetson, now just getting out of coming home from his mission and getting in college, they're going to be working together. So excited to have them on the show and just talk about their business and where they came from and kind of the things that sparked, getting into roofing. So, I mean, we can start a little bit with that, Kurt. I mean,
Okay.
You're from Cuna, right?
Yep.
And obviously you're in roofing. Like, what was the reason of roofing? Why roofing?
Well, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, when I graduated from high school. And my cousin, he had a roofing company. And so I just went to work for him. I started working for him. And that was down in Utah. I actually moved to Utah right after I graduated from high school. Okay. I started working for him. And then I kind of enjoyed it. It was fun. I like physical work. And then I moved back here to Idaho. And my other cousin had a company. And he kind of wanted to get out of roofing. He didn't really like it anymore. So he kind of started selling insurance, and I just kind of took over his company. It was,
Insurance?
Yeah, he started selling
From
insurance.
roofing to insurance. I don't know
it was
how
a
you
big-
get
a
from
big
there.
swing,
Yeah.
but he did it. And so I just kind of took over, and it was a little rocky in the beginning. We didn't have much work, and we just kind of persevered and got busy and kept going. So that's kind of how it started.
So what was the reason why you stayed?
Well, I'm not very smart, so I didn't know anything else to do, so I just kept working. I really enjoy it. I like working.
You knew how to work? You know how to
I
put
knew
on a roof?
Yeah, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it, so I just kept going.
So when did you finally adopt like the Valley Oak roofing name?
Yeah, in '95. Yeah.
That was it. Okay.
And why Valley Oak?
That was the name of the company.
Oh,
But-
really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't just start off this new name.
Yeah, that was the name that he had.
Okay.
And we just stayed with it.
So did you take over the LLC then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's how it was. Yeah.
So how long at that point, when did you meet your wife, Melanie?
Oh, we've known each other since we were 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went
She
to
wasn't
school.
like, oh, this roofer. Okay,
Yeah.
he's gonna make a lot of money. Build me a house. Sounds good.
I don't
Nope.
know about that. But yeah, we've known each other since we were 12. We went to
Okay.
church together and school together.
Okay.
So.
And then Stetson, you grew up knowing your dad was in roofing. What was your perception of his job? Because I know, like, for me with my dad, I never really saw him. He was just down in his office, typing on his computer. So to this day, I still have like no idea what he does.
And he works for the CIA. That's
Yeah, he probably
Top
works
secret.
for the CIA. So what was your perception of it? Like, did you see your dad a lot growing up? Was he gone all the time, or?
Yeah. So I had total different experience growing up. Like I was with my dad all the time.
Okay.
I'd go to work with him every weekend, skip kindergarten sometimes to go to work with him. So I was with him all the time. He always made sure he was at our sporting events and anything that we had going on. He always made sure to take time off to be there for that. So I saw him a lot growing up. It wasn't like we wouldn't see him for a couple weeks and then he'd be home on the weekends
Yeah.
or something like that.
Because you worked with him all the time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and it was awesome and just kind of grew up working with him.
Okay, so it wasn't like, hey, there's this guy that gives us money every month, Mom. Like, where's
Right,
he at?
right.
He's there.
Yeah.
That's how my dad was too. I mean, there's times throughout the year. My dad's a farmer, but there's times throughout the year when he'd be busy. But the thing about having your own business is, if you want to make it to your kids' sporting events, you can. And it's really flexible. That's why I think a lot of people do it. Kurt, did you always know that you wanted to have your own business? Like, you didn't want to be an employee, or did you kind of just...
Yeah, I didn't really want to work for anybody.
Okay.
I kind of like doing my own thing and set my own hours. I mean, I definitely get the work done. I would get up early. I go to work and I work hard all the time. But yeah, setting your own hours, taking time off if you want to. Like Steady said, going to your kids' sporting events. Maybe you work hard all day. You take a few hours off, go to their sporting events, and then you still have to go back to work after that. But it's just, I just like the flexibility. I like setting my own hours and doing my own thing.
Yeah. So what did your dad do?
He was in construction also. He was
Okay.
in fire protection sprinklers. He installed fire protection sprinklers.
Oh, interesting.
So this construction's kind of in our family.
Yeah, runs in your blood.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So there's a funny story about how Steady said that he would skip kindergarten.
He what?
Yeah,
He'd
like
skip kindergarten.
he skipped kindergarten
To
to
go
go
to
to
work.
help. Yeah, he went to work one time. So this was like in 2008 or 2009. We had like a really bad downturn in the economy,
Oh yeah.
and I couldn't afford to pay any of my employees, so it was just me doing all the work. We didn't have much work anyways, and I had this tear off, and just having somebody else there with you to help is a big help.
Major, yeah.
Yeah, just having somebody there, even if they can't do much. So I said, "Hey, Melanie, I'm going to take Stetson to work with me today." And she's like, "Well, then you call the secretary."
Yeah, I'm not
going to be there.
Yeah.
And so I did, and we were friends with the secretary. So I said, "Hey, Candace, Stetson's not feeling well today. He's not going to be at school."
Oh.
And so he was in kindergarten, and we just went and tore off this little roof. So that was kind of fun.
Wow,
so,
that's
yeah, so
awesome.
he's been working with me ever since he was in kindergarten. So.
Has all of your kids been like that? Like,
Yeah, I've been lucky. All 5 of them are kids. Whenever we needed help, they'd always be there to
do that.
help tear off a roof or do whatever.
Did you ever put him on the roof?
Oh yeah, they always got on the roof.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing ever steep or high.
See,
or anything,
every
but-
time Benj, like I remember he used to be in plumbing, right? And so sometimes he'd have to go on the roof to do certain things. I don't know what things he had to go on the roof to do plumbing for, but he had to do things, and he'd call me and be like, "I'm on a roof right now," and I'm like, "Oh my God, he's gonna die! Like, what if he falls? Especially like during the winter, it's scary." So anyway, this is just my fear, but
Yeah.
They would know what plumbing has to do on the roof. They got to go
right.
around those
yeah.
the vents.
All the plumbing pipe flashings and all that.
let's go back. So when the 2008, 2009, 2010, I don't know when it started. I was
Yeah.
8 years old, but when that happened, what was that like for you?
Yeah, that was a really tough time. That was like the first downturn in the economy that I had ever lived through. I mean, I remember hearing my parents talk about the 80s, how hard that was. Interest rates were really high. There wasn't much work. The economy was bad, but we were young. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So in 2008, 2009, that was like the first one that me and my family had experienced that really hit home that I felt. And yeah, the work was just really slow. People didn't want to spend money. So it was hard to get jobs. And then there was a lot of roofers that were bidding on the same job. So it was just hard to get those jobs and make any money because everybody kept cutting the prices and going lower
Yeah,
and
just
lower.
trying to get something
Yeah,
to do.
just trying to get a job. So
That makes
just kind of
sense.
trying.
Okay.
Cutting work is like the worst thing you can do for customer service.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing a cheap job, you don't want to put in all the effort. Like, man, this job's undersold.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
want to
exactly
do
right.
nice because I'm like doing free work.
Yeah,
So-
that's kind of the mentality.
Yeah, that's when my parents built their house.
Oh,
So
is
they were,
it?
they were going through the numbers with us, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, that was so cheap compared to now." I mean, people were really happy to cut what they would normally charge for it back then.
Yeah.
So up until that point, that was what, almost 15 years since you started. At that point,
12 or 13 years,
13
something
years.
like that. Yeah.
So were you like gaining momentum throughout that time, and then it just hit, or how do you?
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. Yeah,
like-
some of our builders, they started building more houses, so we got more and more busy. And then, you thought things were going really well, and then all of a sudden, the housing crisis happened, and it seemed like it was like almost overnight that things just stopped. It was pretty abrupt.
Were you guys in new construction?
Yeah, we did a lot of new construction at that time, and that was one of the reasons that I transitioned over to tear-offs and re-roofs is because everybody needs a new roof eventually. And the new construction, it's kind of cutthroat. It's a lot harder to get a good price out of a new construction sometimes. So,
Yeah, they want it done so cheap.
yeah.
Yeah, and you got to be able to do it fast.
Yeah, right.
Like really fast.
During that 2008, 2009 period, were you ever like, maybe roofing isn't for me? Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, but I didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
kind of a survivor. I'll just
Yeah, you're like,
kinda
let's-
figure it
let's
out.
do
and-
it, yeah.
So now we just kind of kept going
Okay.
and made it work.
Do you guys do anything else besides roofing now?
We have built 6 or 8 houses throughout the last 30 years, me and my wife, just to live in. We build one and then live in it for a few years and sell it. But no, just roofing is mainly what we do.
I think what you're doing. Okay.
I remember my dad told me a story of, I think it was you, during that crash that you got into day trading.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
I did.
right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that was just because like you're just, man, I got to figure out a way to
Yeah.
make money for my family.
Sure,
And
yeah.
do you still do any of that at all?
Not as much anymore because we're very busy roofing again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there for a couple years, yeah, I day traded a lot just to try to make ends meet and figure out another way to survive. So I did that a lot.
Have you got into that at all, Stetson? Any
Just
day
a
trading?
little bit. Just a little bit. I, watch Squawk Box in the morning with them sometimes and try to learn a little bit, but I haven't.
So you still monitor it then?
Yeah,
You
I like to
still-
watch it. Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what is it? Squawk Box?
Yeah,
What
I
did you
think
call
that's
it?
what it's called, right?
What is that? Sorry, I don't know nothing
Oh,
about this.
it's just a news channel that follows the stock market. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never got into day trading either.
yeah.
If I was into it, she'd probably know the vocabocabulary.
Yeah.
I-
I know a
I
lot about
don't know.
plumbing.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
knows more than
Orangeburg and trying to think of other random things I know. Clean outs. Helpful stuff. Helpful stuff.
Little stuff. Well, that's cool, man. So, when you started doing day trading, what was like the most amount of money you made in a day trading?
Maybe a couple of $1,000s.
Really?
Yeah, at the most. Yeah. One of the reasons I got into it also, where I knew about it, was my wife's uncle. He was a pharmaceutical salesman, and his small cap pharmaceutical company that he was working for, they were developing a weight loss drug. And then there was two other companies. It was Orexogen Therapeutics and Arena Pharmaceuticals, and then Vivus Pharmaceuticals. And they were all trying to develop a weight loss drug, so they were kind of in a race to be the first company to get one approved that was really effective. And so he kind of got me interested in day trading with that stock. And so I kind of followed that stock for quite a few years as it was going through all the clinical trials and all of that. And it would go up and then it would release something. And if it wasn't favorable, it would obviously go down. And so it was very volatile. So you could make some money on that. Interested?
Insider tips right here.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but no.
Tune into this, and Kurt will create an online
Yeah.
course to teach us how to day trade.
And
No,
and if you want
no.
some weight loss, he
Weight
knows
loss.
which one.
No.
So Stetson, I'm interested in kind of hearing your story of how you've kind of decided to go into business, like with your dad, and get into this.
Yeah. Well, so growing up, obviously, like every summer, I would work with my dad, and I just kind of developed a love for it. Just being with him all the time was super fun for me, and learning about roofing and learning how to work hard. I just kind of fell in love with it. And so growing up, every summer, in high school, I'd get a couple of my buddies all summer and we'd go tear roofs off with them.
Oh,
And it was just, when you're working and having fun, for me, I just loved that. I thought it was awesome, good environment, and I'm super close with my dad, so it was fun to be with him all the time.
yeah, he's not like a jerk or something.
No, yeah, no, he's great. Yeah, yeah. But I also didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I don't have a huge desire to go work for somebody else. It's super convenient to work with my dad and work for him.
Yeah.
And I know he's super passionate about what he's built, and so it makes me want to continue that and help build it with him.
So where do you guys want to go? What is your goal? What do you envision this business becoming?
Well, we definitely want to scale it and to grow, so he can have a comfortable income as well and enjoy his family and his life as well as we grow the business and continue to roof lots of houses. And I think the struggle that I have is I got into roofing and I loved it and I worked and I did a lot of the bidding and the work and then collecting the money and all of that. And I kind of fell into like a comfortable pattern where we always had, not always, but we had enough work and we made money and we enjoyed our life. And so the uncomfortable thing that I have to learn now is how to scale the business, how to advertise, and how to grow. And I'm pretty old school. I don't like to change much.
Yeah.
I don't change hardly anything really. Like I have the same phone number I've had for 30 years. I eat the same burger at Red Robin.
So you probably have like 10,000 contacts in your phone.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've even had the same wife for 29 years.
Wow.
I don't plan on changing. So
That's
change
good.
is a little
That's
tough for
good to
me,
hear.
so, yeah. So that's where he's gonna help.
Yeah, I can see. I can
Hopefully.
see why you would want your son who grew up in a internet world. I don't know how to say that in a better way, but you started your business not having like the web,
Yeah.
not having social media, not
Yeah.
having. I mean, you had billboards. I assume back then,
Well,
but
that's because
besides
he-
that, it's changed
yeah.
a lot. And you guys are on a billboard now. Speaking of
Right.
billboards,
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, I didn't even have the cell phone when I first started roofing.
Really? What
Yeah, it
you
was
you
way
just
different.
knock doors or what?
Yeah, you just kind of made contacts when you went home. You called people at night. So
Yeah, because the phone was at home.
Oh yeah, the cord.
Right.
Watching those.
So yeah, things have really changed.
Was it as bad as like the click ring thing, or did you have buttons?
No, we
at
had the
least?
buttons to
Yeah,
push. Yeah,
buttons.
we're like that
You're
old,
not
yeah.
that old.
Yeah. Don't classify them.
We interviewed my grandparents a few weeks ago, and my grandpa started a steel company back in like 1975, I think it
yeah.
was. And the way that they would do business was very interesting too. I mean, theirs was like newspapers.
Oh wow.
Like that's how they
Yeah,
would find
that's how they would advertise.
advertise would be through
Yeah.
newspapers, which is crazy. I mean, black and white picture, terrible quality, and yeah, it's very, very interesting to hear their take on doing business back before there was social media. Because nowadays with social media, it's so different.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can run an ad on Facebook ads and literally get in front of 1 million people in a matter of weeks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's
way different.
crazy. It's crazy the opportunity that social media has provided.
Yeah, and it just doesn't quite relate to me. You know, I just miss that
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah, you just
But
like.
for somebody younger, you know, that's what they grew up with. So
Yeah,
it's
for
kind of a
sure.
good fit that way.
So do you think any of your other family members will join you? Don't you have
Anthony
a
Bronson will
younger
get into
a
it?
younger brother?
Yeah, we'd like him to. I think it'd be fun if he wanted to join us.
Yeah.
He doesn't love roofing, doesn't love getting up there, but
There's a lot of
it'd
other
be fun.
stuff you
He
can
doesn't
do.
like being on the roof.
No, not at all. He hates it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
You can be the
That
office guy.
would be hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, he could be the receptionist.
take calls all day.
Yeah, he will not be a laborer for sure. He'll do something different. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
That's
and
totally
when
fine.
you're getting into scale, those roles are just as important.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
they
putting
are.
someone in charge of the warehouse or
I bet.
parts. And so right now, with your guys' goal of trying to scale, what are some things you guys are doing right now, I would say, different than you were doing before? You know, you said you got into this comfortable state where you were probably making good money at knowing exactly what you needed to do every day, but now you're pushing yourselves.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And what are some things you guys are doing like on a day-to-day to try to grow it?
well, recently we just started the Google business ads.
Oh, okay.
Local service ads.
Oh, there you go. That's what it is. Don't even know what it's called. But that has worked really well. We have a 5-star rating. We have lots of good reviews, and lots of people have been calling that way. So
That's
been
that's
really
how
nice.
if I'm gonna get a service business,
Google reviews.
Google reviews
Google reviews all the way.
all the way. But now that I'm like learning how Google works, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I trust it
No.
anymore. But before I knew anything, I used Google a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many things that you can do to improve in that way too. Like I was talking to someone and he's like I don't know if he's a representative of Google or he like partners with them in certain ways, but he talks about how they also they'll put your business up higher on the list if you answer the phone call on the first ring versus
sure.
answering the phone call on the last ring, you're letting it go to voicemail. Like they have it so dialed in where they're like they need to know that when someone's gonna click on this Google thing, they're gonna get it the answer.
sure.
Just I'm like, how do you do that? I don't know, but
Yeah.
they can do it. They probably know when we're on their phone too. This person's on their phone. Okay, pop up this ad or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. What are some things you guys have done to, what have you done, Kurt, to stay in business for 29 years?
Yeah, 29 years.
Like, obviously there's the consistency realm, right, of just getting up every day and going to work
Sure.
and just doing that every single day. You'll stay in, but it takes a lot more than just wanting to make money to stay in business for that long.
No, I agree. One thing, I love roofing. I just love working hard, and I like meeting new people. I like taking an old crappy roof and tearing it off and putting a new roof on, and just the satisfaction of doing that. I really enjoy that. The other thing is, I think, you know, you work with water and the weather. You're going to have problems every now and then. That just is going to go with the territory. And for me specifically, I like to take care of any problem like right away. I like to make the good relationship with the customer, make them feel comfortable, and then they know, hey, if there's a problem 10 years later, he'll still be in business and he'll still take care of it. I think that's been very important. I still have customers that I've done roofs like 25 years ago, and now we're doing that roof for them again for the second time, 25 years later.
Yeah.
So I think we've made the customers very happy, and we just do a very good job and have good customer service, I think.
Yeah, especially that experience definitely speaks to the quality that you guys are performing your work and actually taking care of your customers. So do you guys have like warranties on your work? What's like your longest warranty you'll put out there?
Oh, if the shingle blows off like 10 years later, we'll still go back and fix it
Oh,
or
really?
something like that. Yeah. Yeah, because I want them to call me if they build another house 10 years later or something
Yeah.
like that, or they'll tell their neighbor about me. So it doesn't matter. We'll just go back and take care
It
of it.
always pays off. It's just like a
Yeah,
circle.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to what you're saying, you have customers that are going on their second roof from you.
Yeah, sure.
That's incredible. It's like, to me, I mean, you could probably compare it a little bit to like HVAC, because you probably replace a unit, every 15 years
Yeah,
or so.
sure.
It's the same. When I was in plumbing, it's like one customer and you're done. Like they've had plumbing for 50 years, and their plumbing should last them like another 50
Yeah.
years. I think that's really, really unique to be able to gain those and keep those relationships.
Sure. Yeah, even some of our Google reviews, we've had guys say that, yeah, we've worked with this guy for 25 years, and yeah, it makes you feel pretty good that they stick with you.
Those are the best reviews.
Yeah.
Those are the good ones.
Yeah, they are.
So Stetson, are you the one that's over like the Google business account? Are you running
Yeah.
all that?
Yeah, so anything to do with marketing is kind of that's kind of my main role,
Your specialty?
marketing, because I understand it a lot better than my dad does, and I can learn things online a little quicker.
Yeah.
And so-
it clicks.
Right.
So did you get the whole billboard set up? And like, 'cause I saw that it was right next to the house that we were living in at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I reached out to them and got that all set up, and that was cool for me because that was, the first time we've ever done that. So it was something new that I got to learn the process, and it's just fun to learn as you go.
Yeah. So Kurt, are you ever hesitant about like this new internet stuff? I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, for sure,
You ever
yeah.
like, I don't want to spend that much on this.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, that's exactly right, because for the last 28 or whatever years, I have hardly spent anything. It's all
Yeah.
been word of mouth. It just came naturally. It just happened. So yeah, it's hard for me to get my head wrapped around spending lots of money to generate more work. But
Yeah.
I'm slowly understanding that that's what you need to do.
Yeah, that's okay. So for someone who is thinking about going into business with their dad or their son, what is your advice to them?
Well, for us, we've always had a really good relationship. We've been very close. We love hanging out with each other, and we worked a lot together when he was growing up. So it wasn't really like it was ever work or a problem. It was just kind of natural and fun to hang out with each other. I don't know, that was easy for us.
Stetson was the first
Yeah.
boy too.
Yeah, he's the first. Yeah, I was pretty proud of
He's
that.
been
yeah.
your little man for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you can create a relationship where you have the same type of relationship at work and at home, like my dad said, it was never going to work. It's just, yeah, we got to tear off, so we'll just go and tear this roof off and enjoy being with each other still. And then we come home and throw the ball in the yard or something, and it's the same relationship. So if you can create that kind of environment, it's a breeze, I think.
So what is your guys' schedule like in the winter?
Yeah, it definitely slows down. We don't do a ton of new construction. We just do a lot of tear offs and re-roofs and stuff like that. And in the wintertime you have bad weather, so you got to kind of dodge the storms. So it definitely slows down a little bit in the winter.
Slowing down meaning like you can go like a month without a tear off?
No, probably not that much, but maybe 2 or 3 tear offs a month, something like that. It just slows down a lot. It seems like if somebody buys a house and the bank is requiring them to put a new roof on, then we'll tear it off for them. But
That makes sense.
So have you guys ever gone and like removed snow from people's roofs to do a tear off?
oh yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah. Sometimes we've had to push the snow off before we could tear the shingles off.
Yeah, what about Snowmageddon over here? What
Yeah,
was
that
it,
was
2017,
Did you get a
2018?
lot of business from that?
Yeah, that was
You
great.
probably got a ton of business from that.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that year, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, that was really good.
Did you have any customers calling you up, like asking you questions about the roof, like if
Yeah,
it's gonna
like-
hold up or what should I
yeah.
do?
Yeah, we had people worried that the roofs were going to cave in on
Mm-hmm.
them. So yeah, we pushed a lot of snow off the roofs that year.
Okay.
And you were probably like, well, if the roof caves in, fortunately it's not my fault. It's the framers that wouldn't be
Yeah,
responsible
that's
for
right.
that.
Yep.
The roof has nothing to do with the structure.
That's right.
Oh, really?
It's all just the
Yeah, the frame.
keeping the water off.
I wouldn't know. I would have been calling you up. You did this? Are you kidding me?
And then you tell her, hey ma'am, you need to call your framer. No, he told me I need to call you.
Yeah, that's probably what would have happened.
That's right.
And then summer.
Yeah.
How is it working in the 100-degree weather on top of those things?
Well, sometimes it sucks, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hot and uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good, but I don't know, you just do it. See, if you get there early in the morning, you kind of get acclimated into it throughout the day, so it's not so bad. You just drink lots of fluid and keep going. But
We lived in a house and like there's like this big canal and across they're building this like new construction. Anyway, we get in there and at like 6 o'clock in the morning we just hear and these roofers like for months because they're building this whole,
oh, sure.
and I was like about ready to just blow my top. We were right next to them. You guys can be annoying sometimes, for sure.
Right.
Make a lot
But
of noise.
you make a lot of noise, but I guess it has to be done. So
That's right.
So you guys love roofing.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy it. Yeah.
is there anything you think you would ever get into besides roofing?
We would like to build a few houses and stuff like that, but I don't know. For me, I just love roofing.
Yeah.
I like it.
So when you talk building a house, you're talking like, do you like to do all the work for it?
No.
You like planning,
Yeah,
designing.
that's right. Yeah, I'll schedule things
Okay.
and make phone calls. I don't want to do all the work.
Did you
Yeah.
put the roof on your house?
Yeah, I did this
You
one.
did?
Yeah. Mhm.
What's the square footage of your roof?
It's big. It was about
It's
110
huge.
squares. Yeah, it was a big roof.
110?
Yeah.
Hey, it has to speak for the business.
Yeah.
Big roof,
Yeah,
big
it's a big
business.
Yeah. I'm never going to replace it though. It's a very nice shingle. So,
Really?
yeah.
How long will it last?
I think we'll get 50 years out of it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's shingles that last that long?
Yeah, their presidential shingles are very thick, but yeah, they last a long time.
So I've seen this ad on Instagram for these new like tin roofs that
Oh,
look like shingles,
Yeah.
but are tin. Have you seen those?
I've seen them. I have never put any on. But I've seen the material. Yeah, they look pretty nice.
So what are the pros and cons of tin versus asphalt?
Well, I prefer asphalt. I just really enjoy it. I like it. I think it lasts a long time. I think it looks better than metal. But metal is kind of maintenance free too. It lasts a long time. That in the higher country, the snow kind of slides off the metal a lot easier than shingles. But I think it's kind of a preference of what you like as well. There's some standing seam metal that looks really sharp too, but I like shingles.
Stetson, do you have any preference?
Not really.
Not yet.
What
not
do you
yet.
like to install more?
Asphalt shingles.
Really?
It's a lot easier to work with. Yeah.
For what reasons?
Cutting metal is hard. And
Oh,
there's
yeah,
like
'cause you gotta
valleys
shape
and
it and do all
stuff.
this
It
crap.
takes a little longer to cut the metal the way you need it, versus just cutting a shingle is a lot easier.
Yeah, I bet. You just take out your knife.
Right.
Yeah. We like. But we do shingles mainly, so we're very fast with the shingles, and our crews do the shingles. Metal, we just haven't done a ton of metal, so we're not fast with the metal.
Yeah.
We just don't do it very often,
That makes sense.
so we prefer shingles. But
So how many employees do you guys have now total?
we have one crew. That is it.
Okay.
And there's 4 guys,
Okay.
and then Stetson and I,
Okay.
and we just work all the
You guys
time and
just
get it
go
done.
out and get it
yeah,
done.
we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a receptionist or?
I
You-
try to answer every.
You're the
Yeah.
receptionist.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I bid a job just the other day, and the guy said, "Hey, the guy that I'm talking to now on the phone, he was talking to me. He goes, is this the guy that's going to be doing the work?" And he said, "I've been burned in the past by calling somebody, and then that guy is never on the job at all." And I said, "Yeah, I'm on every job, but I'm almost 52, so I don't do all the work anymore." And so I think people have to understand that too. They call me, I can't do all the work anymore,
Yeah.
but I'm on every job for an amount of time.
Yeah.
I check everything, make sure everything's
Supervising
good.
it. Have you guys ever thought about like Stetson for you, right? You're growing this business. Do you want to stay around here, or have you ever thought maybe I'll start like a Valley Oak roofing somewhere else?
I've never thought about it too much. No,
No.
I really like the Treasure Valley.
Yeah.
It's home, and so I don't plan on ever
We're going
moving away
somewhere. Okay.
unless we decide to expand and start a branch somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it here a lot.
That's not in the picture. As of now.
No, not right now.
Okay.
No.
I've been interested the whole time. Do you guys have any like major horror stories? If you've ever fallen off,
Yeah, we've all fallen off a few times.
Even
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
I've never fallen off. I've like jumped off onto the
knock on
tramp
wood.
and stuff, but I've never fallen off yet.
Oh, that's good.
but you've
Luckily.
fallen off before.
Yeah, we've fallen off quite a few times. Yeah. I've never been hurt really bad. I do have a kind of a funny story about Stetson. Like he was pretty young, and we set that ladder up on one side of the roof, and I was up on the roof, and I said, "Hey, grab the ladder and go set it up on this other side." And he was pretty little, and the ladder was kind of janky, so he pushed it up, and the rungs unlatched, but he didn't pull it back down. And so he went and set it up on the other side of the roof. And I just got down, or I started to go down on the ladder, and the rungs were unhooked. And so I rode the ladder all the way down to the ground.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
landed right on my butt. That really hurt.
Yeah.
That was really bad. He felt pretty bad.
Yeah, I was bawling. I was so
Oh,
scared.
yeah, like, I almost killed my
I
dad.
thought I just killed my dad.
Yeah.
And so
pretty
he's
rough,
all
but-
in pain trying to comfort me.
How old do you think you were? 11, 12 maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Were you that old?
8 or 10 maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I was
pretty
young.
Yeah, but that's still young enough where you're still like can be traumatized by
Oh
that
yeah, it
experience.
scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one of my buddies one time, he used to be in the pressure washing business, and he was up on a roof like pressure washing it.
Yeah.
And he hit some sort of power line
Oh, no.
with a pressure washer. He was like, and just falls flat
Wait.
right on his back.
Really?
Really?
Oh, dang.
He was okay?
Yeah, it was his friend who did that.
Was his friend okay?
Yeah, I think he was fine. He like, walked away from it like totally
think?
fine. But like,
dang.
imagine that.
Yeah, that would have
You
hurt.
just wake up. Oh, this happened.
I'm sure.
That would be probably the scariest part of roofing is like the number of roofs that you're on. I wonder what the statistic is of like how many roofers fall off a roof and like it's like seriously hurt.
Yeah, do you have to have any like insurance being a roofer? A
Yeah, you
business
have to
owner?
you have your workers' comp and your liability insurance. That's
okay.
it. Yeah, but I mean, we are very careful. We don't do anything or have our guys do anything that jeopardizes them or is harmful or dangerous. We're very careful.
So what happens when you come to a really steep roof?
Well, we can use some roof jacks on there and then put a 2x6 on the very bottom and then work off of that.
Okay.
So we are very safe. If it's too steep, we can tie off as well. We can put a rope on and have a harness as well.
That just makes it so much more complicated.
Yeah, it is. I know dragging that rope around is really a
Having to deal
pain.
with that.
But we don't do that very often. But
I wonder if you could wear like track spikes.
no.
Do you wear like those to like get traction?
Do they have those?
Well, they're called. We have some things that we can put on the bottom of our shoes when it's icy or frosty up there. They're called corkers,
Okay.
and they kind of have a little spike at the bottom of them, and we can put them on the bottom of our shoes, and we can grip pretty good with those. But you don't wear those on the new shingles that you put on. Don't want to damage the shingles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
the
how
tear
do
off,
you
you
not
can do
damage it but then stay alive?
Right.
So do you guys tear off every roof you do? Or do you sometimes just put a new roof on top of it?
No, we used to do that, but we don't hardly ever do that anymore. We tear everything off, start completely over.
How long does it tear off usually take?
It depends. Like we did 2 this week already, and we tore one off on Monday and one off on Wednesday. So we can tear them off in one day and then shingle them the next day. Or if they're small enough, we can just tear it off and shingle it in one day. Just kind of depends.
Recently, the Treasure Valley has really expanded itself,
Yeah,
right? There's been so many more. The population has just increased a lot. Have you seen any change in that at all? Has it helped you guys get more clients, or have you seen the competition just rise?
Oh yeah, we see lots of new roofing trucks all over the place. Yeah, lots of different names out there. So I think that has brought a lot of new competition. But we haven't really felt the effect because now we have a really good reputation.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, there's been lots of more customers that have been moved to the Treasure Valley too. So
Yeah.
there's lots more jobs as well.
So with you guys trying to scale right now, do you guys kind of have like a money target? I would say you're going to like, if you don't mind me asking, Kurt, what's kind of been your annual revenue like the last few years, and what are you guys like trying to get to?
We've been pretty consistent around 1.3 million, 1.5 million, around that every year is our gross. I don't know, maybe we'd like to double that in the next couple of years. Something like that, I think, is a good target to go for.
So you're 50. What is your plan on? Eventually, you will not be able to get up on that roof again, right?
Yeah, one day, but that's a long time.
You're not worried about that at all. You're not even thinking about
No,
that. Like,
not yet. No.
you're gonna work till you're dead. Are you one of those people?
Nah, probably not till I'm dead, but I'll work for quite a while.
For a
I
long
like
time.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good exercise too.
Oh, I'm sure. You get a nice tan out there too. I'm
You get
sure.
tans, yeah. Don't have to pay for a gym membership.
Yeah, no, it works out.
Really, you'd say it's good enough for that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I get a pretty good workout every day. Yeah.
I've never put up a roof before.
Oh yeah.
No, I never have.
Your parents need a new roof. Maybe you can help us.
They
next
do
time.
need a new roof.
That's right.
They actually really do.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Their roof is really old. Yeah, I remember when I was in plumbing, when I would get on roofs, you'd get on a side where it's like this side is always towards the sun and this side isn't, and this side is just like like nothing, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like you walk on it and all like the pieces of the shingles are just like
Yeah.
falling off, and the other side's like brand new. Like,
Yeah.
can we do a halfway roof?
Yeah, the south side, the south-facing slopes are always get beat up a lot quicker than the north-facing slopes.
So do you ever have to redo that first and then go ahead and redo
Well,
some?
we just
Yeah,
usually
just
do it all at
do it
once.
all.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be hard to mix and match. That'd be annoying.
Yeah, it would be annoying. Yeah, it costs more money in the long run too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's better to do it all at once.
So kind of going off roofing, what would you guys say is I don't know, we've talked about how you really enjoy roofing, but what are some of your other passions? You know, what are some things you guys like to do as a family, or what are some things that I would say hold you together as a family?
Well, I think for my wife and I, we always thought it was important to support our kids and be at all of their activities. So for the last 30 years or 25 years, that's what my wife and I did for our hobbies, was just going and supporting our kids in all of their activities. So that has been something that we were passionate about. We always wanted to support all of our kids in all of their activities, whether it was dance or basketball or baseball or tennis or whatever it was. Melanie and I, we were always in all of their activities, and that was always fun.
What about you, Stetson?
I would say sports has always been a big part of our entire family. You know, me and all my all my siblings, we grew up playing sports, and so naturally, as a family, we would play games together all the time. We'd go outside and play kickball or throw the football around, stuff like that. So that's always been a good family activity for all of us, is just playing games together, playing sports and stuff, because we all enjoy it.
You can still kick a ball over there.
Yeah.
48-year-old guy. Still throw.
I can throw it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
a little bit.
And now you're starting to have some grandkids too, so that process is
Yeah, that's
just
super
gonna
fun. Yeah,
just start all over,
that's
huh?
right. Yeah, we won't too much downtime.
Yeah.
They'll be out playing sports pretty soon.
So last question that I want to ask you, Kurt. Stetson, the reason I'm not asking is because you're not married yet. So shout out to Stetson. If anyone who thinks he's a good-looking guy, you can hit the comments down below. But Kurt, how would you say, for someone who is worried, maybe about their spouse and their relationship with their spouse, about starting a new business and a business of their own, what advice would you give them?
Well, for me, my wife has always been very, very supportive of everything I did. She was always there to encourage me. Even though I worked a lot of late hours, and I worked on the weekends as well. She never complained. She was always very supportive. So I think it's important to know that you have to have some sacrifice to get something going. It's not easy. It's a lot of late hours, a lot of working all the time. So I think it's important to have a spouse that is going to encourage you and just be there for you.
Your side of being the business owner and the person who's always maybe working out late or just not home, what is something that you did to ensure that relationship was always a very high priority in your life?
I'm going to take a couple minutes
I
to
know,
think
be
about
careful.
that.
Melanie's going to listen to this. I guess she's over there already listening. So
Yeah, I think sometimes I actually fell short in that, and I didn't make my wife feel like she was a priority sometimes, because I did spend a lot of time working. And for me, I thought that I would be a failure if I wouldn't be able to provide for my family, if I couldn't support them. So I think sometimes I put that as a priority, is working, and maybe I shouldn't have. But I think it all worked out. She's
you're
still with
married.
me.
Yeah. She's still over there. I mean, we'll end this and see if you're still married. See if that was a good enough answer.
Yeah, okay. All right, good.
No, but we've really appreciated having you guys on this podcast and on the show with us. Thank you for taking your time. I know you guys, as soon as we walked through the door, you guys were just eating because you guys had just gone off of work. And so I know it's been a long day for you guys, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun.
Go enjoy some more Mountain Dews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will.
So, yeah, thanks for being on, you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Yeah, good deal.